Okay, what up, friendos? Welcome back. I figured we'd talk about something a little bit different today, go out of our comfort zone. My wife has informed me that on Chinese social media, there's just a whole world of unexplored topics that nobody really in the West ever talks about. And one of these that she presented to me was mega interesting because I had no idea this was going on. So basically, we all know, right, on social media, you'll go online and you'll see the new gacha game, right? The new gacha game, usually from Japan or from China, you know, the MiHoYoverse games, things like that. They're typically focused on a male audience, right? They're, you know, anime female characters. You spend thousands of dollars to collect your favorite waifus, things like that. I had no idea that in the wider economy of games designed to basically nickel and dime people in buying characters for some kind of like Guna related purposes, which we've all seen, right? We've all seen people talk about the Guna characters and things like that. I had no idea there is a market that is as crazy, if not crazier, for the female population. So my partner sent me like a bunch of links documenting essentially what is the counter to the male Guna population of downloading these gacha games. And some of the stories surrounding these things are fucking crazy. So in China, there's this game called Love and Deepspace. It is released globally. You can see it has 649,000 followers on the Western, you know, the X social media account. And this game sort of like is the focal point of this video, but there is a wider culture surrounding this where what's referred to as otome games, otome, however it's pronounced in Japan, it's basically female focused like romance games as far as I'm aware. These games are earning millions of dollars daily from just the Chinese market, let alone global markets. And not just that, but fans of the game, so some of these wealthy ladies that are really into these characters, frequently spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to celebrate the birthday of these fictional characters. And you can even go online, you can see what this is. It's basically, you know, when you see people talk about like Guna bait games like Nikkei and things like that, the anime waifu collector games with the big boobies, you always get a slanted view of like, oh, this is just, it's only happening for the male population, right? No, this is what these games are. These are the ones focused at the female audience. I had no idea these fucking things existed, to be honest. I'm not going to lie. And when you start looking into this and reading some of these articles, bear in mind this is translated from Chinese. I'm not going to get my partner to, you know, word for word translate everything. I'm just going to focus on Google Translate here to make it easier. There's actually a big thing going on right now where, you know, if you like go to a mall in Times Square or whatever, go to a large shopping area, they'll have like the big billboards, and you'll have seen the ones in Japan where they have the big anime characters on and things like that. You would think that's most of the time going to be an advertisement from the company that's involved in making that game. Well, there's apparently a big thing going on right now where it's actually fans of these games are spending crazy sums of money to promote the games themselves and to celebrate the characters. So actual fans and groups of fans are putting together pools of funds, like incredibly wealthy individuals sometimes, to essentially just show their love for these fictional characters and to celebrate milestones for the characters. You can see here. And this article explains it. You know, it's not a brand advertisement. The official name for this thing is Ito-Ro, a type of anime-themed building. And in recent years, amidst the mutual pursuit of fan support culture and shopping mall thirst for traffic, Itaga-themed buildings have become a novelty for some shopping centres and commercial complexes. But what is the actual spending power of these fans? Can Itaga become a salvation for offline shopping malls? And then it basically goes over where this comes from the birthplace of anime and manga, subculture, Japan. And then it goes over the fact that these things are, these anime-themed buildings and these fan subculture buildings are a thing in China now. Since the beginning of the year, major first-tier cities across the country have successfully launched Itaro with different themes. Shenzhen's, I'm gonna mispronounce all this shit, so forgive me on that one. They even referred to these places as the Itaro specialists, and you can see here some of these images. Look at the amount of people, and it's they're doing it with K-pop bands. They're doing it with things that are very popular among female internet users and frequenters of these games. So these are usually launched in collaboration between fan groups and shopping malls, but some shopping malls are also spontaneously organizing theme buildings based on trending topics. Most fans don't do this with a strong ulterior motive. Bear in mind, they're not doing this to earn themselves money. They're not taking out advertisements that can cost tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars, like literally transforming the decor of malls in major massive cities and areas. They're not doing this to like promote a cryptocurrency. They're not doing this to like seek donations or to like earn money for their business. They are literally doing this because they like the character in the video game. Like, we don't even have this, as far as I'm aware, in the West. This is wild. So they don't do this with a strong ulterior motive. They simply want to use the opportunity of the themed buildings to do something for their idol. Their idol, many times being these fictional characters in these otome video games that they're playing. In an interview with Leopard Transformation, one fan said, "They've already provided me with so much emotional value, and the theme building is my way of reciprocating their love." From Feb 14th to 28th this year, during Valentine's Day, a fan spent 600,000 RMB to create a themed pain building for this character that I'm not going to try and pronounce, the male lead of Love and Deepspace, which is the game I was just talking about, at this Shenzhen shopping mall. 600,000 Chinese yuan is $84,000. So this singular fan spent 84,000 United States dollars to create a themed section of a mall, public space, for all the fans and for random passers-by to come by and appreciate for Valentine's Day for a fictional character. And by the way, if you like go online, you'll see endless amounts of articles on Western social media and talking about like AI companions and how sad it is when like a guy is speaking to an AI companion and like they fall in love with like a fucking fictional character and blah blah blah. As far as I can tell, a lot of like fan culture of this sort of thing is like very supportive of this idea, and it's just it's a different world we're exploring today. We truly are in a completely different place than what I thought I'd ever be talking about. But this does sort of serve as a counter narrative to the idea that this is only a male dominated space where they're downloading these Guna games and forming deep emotional connections to fictional characters and anime waifus that they're collecting in gacha games. Little did you know, in Asia, and by the way, this Love and Deepspace game has also topped charts on like iOS and Android and things in Japan, Singapore, the United States. Like, this shit is popular elsewhere. You can even find, obviously, on things like Reddit, people talking about this, talking about how much they love the characters and the way that they flirt with you and the way that they make them feel. And this is all being upvoted as if this is like a completely normal thing. And I'm not judging anybody, do what you're going to do what makes you happy. I just think it's odd. And obviously something that, at least in my area of the internet, I've never heard anybody really talk about, which is interesting. But as you can see, even in the Play Store, 5 million plus downloads, 4.6 star reviews. I've been playing this for a year and a half now. I've loved every minute of it. The game is amazing. The characters are outstanding and the visuals breathtaking. But the only problem I have is the fact that the game lags quite a bit and overheats my phone. It also has the occasional freakouts, as I call them, when the game crashes randomly. This is my favorite game by someone, a simp. And everything in this game is perfect, from gameplay to story to design. There's one problem. The reason I gave it 2 less stars is the fact that sometimes it crashes. People love this shit. So let's continue the article. So they spent 600,000 RMB. And this was for, during the event, fans were able to immerse themselves in the experience through 11 large screen displays displaying the theme, a huge glass sticker at the main entrance, and hanging curtains on the handrails and stairs. My partner showed me a video from basically Chinese TikTok that won't load on my computer for some reason, but I did go in her office and see it. of another fan spending $280,000 for the release of one of the characters for this game, where she built like a whole fucking display at like a mall, where you'd go in and there was like, it was like an entire set production for something like a crazy AAA movie or something, and this one fan just built it so that people could go and celebrate this character for this game releasing, which is insane. She did also send me some articles that were talking about fans renting out like the most expensive restaurants in the most expensive districts in the biggest cities in China, things like Beijing, places like Shanghai, and they were renting out entire restaurants to invite fans to come and costing hundreds of thousands of dollars to celebrate like romance with these characters and to celebrate releases of characters and birthdays of the characters, so all the fans could show up, basically showing like this crazy display of wealth for their appreciation of this character existing. Like, it's wild out there, guys. We're living in truly different times. Unlike traditional anime and manga culture, decorated buildings are more like an offline gathering and carnival for fans. Whether you're a player of otome games, an audience for anime or manga IPs, or a fan of celebrities, you can actually create Itaro for your idol. CC is a fan of popular and talented male actor in the Chinese entertainment industry. She's also a designer and personally designed some of the anime-themed buildings for her idol's birthday in the first half of this year. In her opinion, compared to the continuation of the money economy trend, anime-themed buildings are more of a variation of fresh faces or new celebrities. Shenka is short for birthday cafe. Fans with financial means usually book an entire cafe on their idol's birthday. So this is what I was just talking about, only a more extravagant version. And other fans can enter for free to eat and drink based on their super topic level, game level, or history of spending money on the game. So I'm paying for everything, but I'm inviting the super fans of this game or this character or this celebrity, and you can just show up and, you know, prove your street cred of being an enjoyer of this thing, and we're just spending all the money. The biggest difference between Ita-themed buildings and live cafes is that Ita-themed buildings are not just for fans. If live cafes are a carnival within the fan community, the Ita-themed buildings are a much grander party where passers-by can also become part of the gathering. So open it up to everybody. Show this extravagant display of wealth and appreciation for these characters or these celebrities. And obviously the wider public is going to see it and then presumably, hopefully become fans, maybe join the fan club and things like that. Another significant difference is that a typical live cafe usually lasts only 1 or 2 days, while a theme building for an IP can generally last for weeks or even months. CC explains that this is related to the partners involved, the investment in the event, and the nature of the event. Live cafes are usually hosted by private cafes with a limited reach, and the theme is generally limited to celebrating the idol's birthday, lacking externality. How much does this cost? The answers vary wildly, ranging from a few $100,000 to hundreds of thousands. As some are funded by fan groups, while others are funded by exceptionally wealthy fans who single-handedly cover all expenses. For example, the gamer mentioned above, who spent 600,000 yuan to create a themed anime building, receiving a lot of thanks from fans on social media. So this is being celebrated. I'll give you another article just if you're not satisfied with this. A working-class woman earning 3,000 yuan a month spent millions to celebrate her anime/manga character's birthday. No one would have imagined that a virtual character's birthday celebration would attract fans to spend millions to celebrate. On April 10th, Love and Deepspace released a PV for this character's birthday, Where My Heart Rests. By the way, these events, like any of these gacha games, when one of these events releases, the company earns millions of United States dollars per day, millions and millions, from just the Chinese market. These games are fucking huge and earn crazy amounts of money, and the money that's earned is not even just for the company as we're displaying here. I'd even go as far to say that the economy for fan spending probably rivals what the company earns for the game, because these fans don't just buy all the stuff in the game that is what we would traditionally call gooner bait, but target towards younger or lonely women, I guess, in this instance. But they also buy like fan-made stuff. They host these fan events. They buy merchandise. Like, they do all these things external to the actual game. So on the 10th, April 10th, this released, although players had previously launched a boycott due to their unfair treatment in the game and called for a reduction in spending on in-game purchases. They're complaining about fucking pay to win, guys. It's universal. A dedicated player told us that she still decided to purchase the 648 yuan gift pack. The last male lead's gacha pool topped the game ranking while they were all complaining. All the fan base is all rioting, saying that there's too much stuff in the game to buy. You're putting too many microtransactions in. And as that's happening, this is evidence, by the way, that social media is completely irrelevant to spending in games. Everyone can complain that something's too expensive. Everyone can complain that there's too many things to buy. Everyone can complain that it's not good. And then they'll release something that people want and everyone buys it. Like, this is a universal topic. And that's why it's funny to me that I make these videos talking about pay to win and things in games like Ion 2 and have done for like 5 years making these videos. And the whole time I'm sat there knowing this is literally just for catharsism, because it impacts nothing ever and never will. Because if you make something people want, it doesn't matter how angry people are about the rest of the things going on, they'll still just buy it. And I guess it transcends everything. The last male leads gacha pool topped the game rankings. If this character's birthday pool doesn't top the rankings this time, I'll be very sad. So this is, get this in your head, what we're reading right now, what we're experiencing. And this is a common thing that you probably never heard of. I know I haven't. This fan of this game and of this particular character is going to be emotionally upset if their fictional character that they like the most in this romance game, if their birthday pool, which is just a gacha pool to like show new things in the game, like what the stuff that's in this game in the gacha pool is like cards that give you specific like voice lines and even animated movies of the character like interacting with your character and things like that. That's what they're buying. So they're going to be upset if the gacha pool for their fictional love interest doesn't beat the fictional love interest gacha pool of another character for their birthday. This is just an infinite pool of money, isn't it? Just get everyone hooked on these characters that are romancing them. Like, apparently they're sending you messages every day in the game, flirting with you. And man, we're in a crazy time. Fans spent over a month preparing for the birthday celebration. On Feb 25th, the birthday celebration team posted a blog post stating that on April 18th they will be displaying the birthday support on the rooftop screen on Yonge Street in Toronto, Canada, and that this is the first time the project has accepted support for such a display. So this is a fan account for the birthday celebration team for this character. Subsequently, the birthday celebration team announced 50 support projects, including large screen advertisement across America, Europe, and Asia, dozens of themed shopping malls, a collaboration with Porsche on attaché decorated cars, and a chartered flight by China Express Airlines. A rough estimate suggests that the total investment reached the millions of dollars. Fan organized, fan pooled millions of dollars to celebrate the birthday of a fictional character in a game you've never heard of. Like, wow. It's not the first time that otaku gamers have shocked the market with their spending power. In recent years, amidst the trend of consumer downgrade, a little-known fact that has gained widespread recognition, anime fans, otome game players, and female fans of celebrities are probably the groups most capable of converting emotional value into spending power. So, when you see people on social media say, "Oh, fucking just gooners buying these anime gacha games," guys, you've no idea. You've no idea. Mao Mao, who once rented a large screen at Beijing Joy City to celebrate the birthday of her favorite character, told us that the agent quoted her 500 yuan per day with a minimum rental period of 3 days. Subway TV walls and light boxes are cheaper, sometimes only 10 yuan when on sale. Of course, each vendor's price varies. For example, after consulting with an agent, Value Planet was quoted as much as 9,000 per day for advertisement at Beijing Shaoyang Joy City. So this is not just rich people doing this. This is just fans. They're just spending all their money to show their love in random places wherever they can get it, wherever fits their budget, to show their appreciation and support for these fictional characters. Or sometimes celebrities like K-pop stars are very popular for this to happen as well. So this is also applying to cosplayers as well. Cosplayers are renting out venues, charging people to come. And cosplayers with hundreds of thousands of fans across the internet usually charge several thousand yuan, while cosplayers with millions of fans charge tens of thousands. Of course, the organizer also needs to provide round-trip airfare and accommodation for the guests. Apparently, according to Sensor Tower, as of March 8th, 2025, Love and Deepspace, which had only been online for a year, has accumulated over $500 million in global revenue. Apparently, this is a controversial topic because the battle between otome gamers and rappers continues. What fucking world we're living in. The developers of Love and Deepspace has officially sued Pact. Pact being a Chinese rapper who apparently released a diss track to otome games with quote lyrics saying poison the next generation of minors, a borderline, and a greasy. So there you go. Not everything's, you know, sunshine and fucking rainbows. So just to show you what I was talking about, where the fan had spent $280,000 to create a set for their character's release or Valentine's or birthday. I don't know which one this is. Oh, it's the birthday banquet. 70 little cherry blossoms for free through the threshold of affection. Awesome. And then you can see here what they've made. So they've rented this place out, presumably made this whole set, invited people to come. You know, nice little banquet, romantic little corner look. The Google Translate here doesn't work very well, so I'm probably not going to continue reading that. But, you know, this is what I was talking about. This is another one. The Peace Hotel is a landmark building in Shanghai with a history dating back to mid-19th century. In history, besides serving as a regular hotel, it was also the office for the Financial Committee of the East China Bureau of the Communist Party of China, and an important venue for receiving foreign missions. On the birthday of this character, they hosting an event here. So this is a crazy historical, like, political building, and it's now being rented out as a birthday venue for these anime, you know, romance characters. This is what they're doing. They're serving Wagyu tenderloin. Goddamn, bro. That looks like a good menu. I'm fucking jelly, to be honest. I wish I was into these characters. You're getting a free Michelin level lunch and afternoon tea, average price 3,000 RMB per person. Various surprise activities awaited the attendees on the day of the event. So I think we'll leave it there. Hopefully you are adequately informed and entertained about this. I think this is something I'm probably going to do going forward, because my partner does inform me that China is a very large place with large population, and they have a lot of stories that never get translated or brought over to the West. And there's a bunch of interesting gaming related stuff and things that might interest you guys. So let me know if this is something you'd want to see continued, not specifically to this topic, but just stories and things going on that you otherwise may not have known. I certainly didn't know this was happening or was as much of a big thing as it is. So maybe it will be interesting. By the way, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. Let me know if you want to see continued coverage of things like this, stories that maybe you wouldn't otherwise hear on Western social media. And yeah, if you got any suggestions for content, let me know. Social media, all in the description. And check out Gamersups. This is what I'm drinking right now. This is one of their latest inventions. It's the carbonated canned drinks. They're currently only for sale in North America, I believe. And they've just released, or are just releasing very soon, new flavors. I can't recommend this enough. It's probably a little bit more expensive than if you were going to buy a Red Bull or whatever, because you are having to pay for shipping, and I don't think they've got like massive quantity of supply at the moment. But they're honestly super nice. Like, even if you're not a big fan of energy drinks in general, loads of different powdered drinks, caffeine free, caffeinated if that's your thing, and also loads of anime inspired merch. So you can spend your own money to collect the waifus and show your appreciation for the waifus. Or husbandos, I guess. Do they do husbandos? Maybe that's a market they need to look into. Either way, thanks for watching. See you next time. Peace.